I don't think there's a bad time to go to California. I usually don't travel in the spring because Atlanta's so beautiful in the spring. But in April of 2024, my daughter had a few days off, her husband was out on maneuvers, and I went out to see the flowers. I flew into San Diego, and the way the timing worked out, I got to take the most beautiful train ride in the country, I do believe.
So I made it to San Diego, and it's about 3:30. I have a 5 o'clock train. I'm very excited about getting to ride this train. And I think I might just walk to the train station. It's 2 miles flat, because it's San Diego, and along the water. So, I can always give up and call an Uber if it gets too close to 5 o'clock. So I thought maybe there was no way to do this safely, but there is a pedestrian detour. So yeah, this is how good. Cool. Drive. So the first mile is just getting out of the airport, and that is not very pretty, but there is a nice sidewalk. I'm the only one using it, but so far so good as far as I can not have to walk in the road. All right, so now getting to the pretty part, walking on the water. I am really cutting it close though, but I think I'm gonna make it. If the train station's not very big, I'll be fine. Okay, so I'm finally past the Coast Guard station, and I'm pretty pretty. Oh gosh, it's so pretty. That water's so pretty. I made it, and the train's delayed, so I get to wait in this beautiful station.
The Pacific Surfliner goes from San Diego to San Luis Obispo. There's only one train a day that stops in San Clemente, where I was headed, but it just worked out that the timing was good and I got to take that train. I did find out later that I went to the, I guess you'd say, wrong station, because there was a free shuttle from the airport to the Old Town station. My ticket only cost $22 for a one-way to San Clemente. This was an amazing train ride. When we went through Camp Pendleton, I wondered if my son-in-law was out there with those helicopters. Like I said, this is the only time the Surfliner stops in San Clemente, but there are other commuter trains that work their way up and down the coast between San Diego and Los Angeles. And the Surfliner travels this route many times a day. It just doesn't stop in San Clemente very often.
We just had a late lunch here in San Clemente, which is such a pretty town. And then went to a bookstore and bought a bunch of used books. If you buy 3, you get the 4th one free. So let's see, they work out to be a little over $5 a piece. And now we are going here. And now we're going to the flower fields outside of Carlsbad. And that should be really pretty. I'm looking forward to that. And California is ridiculously gorgeous. It just is. All right, so Mimi and I are in Carlsbad and we're about to go to the flower fields. I was trying to catch that windmill in my shot, but I don't know if I did or not. There's Mimi, she's ready to go too. And they are beautiful. It's there. All right, here we are. Sweet pea maze. The history of Carlsbad Ranch. Wow. All right, so we've started walking around this beautiful place full of flowers. Sorry, I'm making you look in the sun. Yeah, so I came too late for us to go see the wildflowers blooming in full bloom, but the cultivated flowers are still in full bloom.
The flower fields cost $27 for adults, $24 with the military discount that Mimi got. And people really go there to take beautiful pictures of themselves in beautiful fields of flowers. You can also pay extra and have a photography shoot and get a professional photographer. We should have thought of that because both of us just kind of rolled out of bed and went like we were. But other people were there in their best clothes getting lovely pictures that they could send to their family and keep forever. After the flower fields, we went to Carlsbad Village Market. Every Wednesday afternoon, they have a great farmer's market. Now, Mimi had worked the night shift and I'd had a transcontinental flight the day before, so I don't really have much video, but I still wanted to talk about it because I love this market. We went there in January too. It's got great fresh produce, great cheese, local food products like fresh baked gluten-free breads, and really delicious pre-made food. We had great Kenyan food that night at Rafiki's. And honestly, I bought some good pastries for the next day. Those weren't gluten-free. And we went to Strawberry Shack, which is our favorite permanent little restaurant in Carlsbad.
All right, today we're in Balboa Park, which looks, as you said, like Disney World. But we're gonna start at the Japanese garden and see whatever else we find interesting. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And find some place to eat lunch. All right. So, do we go to the tea house? Start with food. All right, so we're having snacks and tea. When's the first time we had those? When Randy brought them back from New York? We absolutely all love these.
There is an admission charge for the Japanese garden. It's $16 for adults, and again, Mimi got her military discount, so it's $14 for her. The garden is beautiful. I will say the cherry trees themselves are probably prettier here on the East Coast. They looked a little bit like San Diego's not their natural environment, but the garden overall is absolutely gorgeous.
They all like to be right where the water comes in. That's interesting. Wonder what's nice about that. On video, I still probably can't find him. There he is. This is one of those shots I'll get home and have to zoom in and go, where was he? Was he there somewhere? Lizard. More koi, irises. There it goes.
Although the actual tea house where they serve snacks was just kind of a snack bar, they have a traditional Japanese tea house built there for art exhibits, and there was a lovely one when we were there.
Oh, that coffee smells good. Here's another restaurant. Look at those good dogs. So this is very interesting because it's still a public park. So there are people, you know, with different points of view with their tables set up. And we just took part in a student psychology survey, which always makes me wonder what they're really after, you know? It's like, I know what these questions say, but I also know that there's something else you're studying. Wonder what it is. So they have a replica of the globe across the street from, we're still not really sure what, but something from Spain. It's got to be from Spain. All right, so actually it's not really a copy of anything, except it's just generally Spanish colonial, representing California history. Echoes the Church of Santa Prisca in Taxco, Mexico. Okay, that actually is very, very accurate. A land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, the land of olive oil and honey. The California Tower. Interesting. Oh, that's pretty. But the Alcazar Garden's a bit of a disappointment, if I'm honest. That is a good question. Look at those roots. It does look like a Totoro root. Is this a Totoro tree? Do we know? What kind of tree is that in Totoro? This could be a Totoro tree. That is just the coolest tree. Scamper back up there so I can get a scale. No, you don't really have to. Someone will pass by. It's hard to get a sense of the scale. They're so pretty and golden. Oh, aren't you pretty? Okay, so now we're walking through the pond. Palm Canyon, we think. We're not really sure because we never got a map.
I'm sorry, that's just ridiculous. This city should not be allowed. It's just too pretty.
Cubs.
We'd both been curious about Little Italy, so we went there, stopped, had a drink, walked around. It really does seem to be the place where you want to go for a meal. There wasn't a lot just to see walking around other than restaurants and tributes to Italian Americans. From there, we went to the very cheechy part of town in La Jolla. But the great thing about California is sometimes you just have to go outside to have an amazing experience.
We're in La Jolla now. Yeah, sorry. I'll cut your head right off. But we are here. Here, I turn this way. Because we're hanging out with the seals and the sea lions. Now we're in Oceanside, going to the Oceanside Sunset Market, and it's very cold.
On Thursday, there's an amazing market in Oceanside in the evening. This market is huge, and there's more than just food. There are also stalls selling stuff. We walked around, we ate dinner at a great vegan Mexican place, and ate dessert at an Asian dessert place. But our favorite part was the typewriter troubadour. You can pay him to write a poem about anything. So he wrote a poem about our dog Hank for us.
So today we are in LA, and first we're going to get gluten-free bagels. And our main thing today is we're going to the Dodgers game tonight. But LA is a lot prettier. I've never spent any time here at all, and it's prettier than I expected. At least where we are. Where are we?
I don't know.
We don't know. Gluten-free bagels at the Modern Bread and Bagel Company, which is all gluten-free. Mimi's very happy.
Very tasty.
Artichokes? Yeah. Such a pretty garden. Yeah. Such a pretty garden. Ooh, those are pretty. Since we're not getting to the Huntington, not going to the botanical gardens, I'll just stare at people's private gardens. That one is neat. All right, so we're driving down Montana, and in the bike lane, we got some cowboys. Oh, it's police. So I'm guessing there's a park. I don't know what the rules are for passing police officers. Okay, we're in Santa Monica. We are headed to the Santa Monica Pier. I'm glad you didn't park up there, even though that was a beautiful park. We would have had a bit of a distance to the pier. I think I've been to California 7 times, and I've never spent any time in LA. I was so pleasantly surprised about how much I loved Los Angeles, and I actually found it quite moving. I think because when I was a little girl back in the 1970s, Los Angeles was the epitome of American culture and excitement. Seeing the names that I knew throughout my entire life was a much more exciting experience than I expected.
So they can enjoy the show. There's not enough time to give a card to everyone, so share all of those with all of them. But now for me, then please hold your card.
Oh, you should totally come here this sometime. Okay, now I'm going. All right, so we didn't want to wait in line to get our pictures with the sign. I love coming across things that I didn't expect to see, like the original Muscle Beach. I didn't know that this was something they built back in the 1930s as part of the Works Project Administration, and it really kicked off an American interest in physical fitness. I feel at a loss about how to introduce the next thing we did. We went hiking into Topanga Canyon on a beautiful trail. It was so gorgeous we couldn't believe we were still in the city. And a few months later, it was part of the Pacific Palisades fire. This trail is closed right now. I don't know when it will reopen. How are we doing with Dodger Stadium so far, Mimi?
Not good.
Okay, so we bought these tickets resale and we have no idea where the seats are. And there are really basically no signs. No signs. So we just keep asking people and we're now in the line for an elevator
Take us somewhere.
All right, fifth inning. We're here. Top of the fifth, though. Going to Dodger Stadium was a childhood dream, and I expected to just love every minute.
but unfortunately we drastically underestimated how long it would take us to get there. We were stuck in traffic for hours. We couldn't find our seats for another hour. We decided to leave early because we realized if we were in that kind of traffic leaving, we would get back to San Clemente in the wee hours of the morning. So, as much as I loved our day in LA, the Dodgers game was actually the low light. And that was it. This was really just a fast trip to get to visit my daughter, to see a part of California I hadn't thoroughly explored. It was beautiful. There were wildflowers, even though the wildflower fields weren't in full bloom. The gardens we paid to enter were beautiful. The gardens we saw for free were beautiful. The next morning, I took an early morning train from the Oceanside Commuter Center. It was a California coaster, which is just a local train from Oceanside to San Diego. Interestingly enough, I have absolutely no video because I ran into a man who was a fabulist, I would say. And although he was helpful and told me about the free tram from the Old Town station to the airport, he also talked to me the entire time about his palace in Italy, his friendships with various famous people. It was sort of an entertaining ride, but I didn't get to take any pictures. But that's okay. For 3 days, we made a lot of memories.